Hi! Welcome back to Terminally
Balding.
Woo! Cheers.
I'm not really bald. Why do you say that?
Well,
I'm kidding.
what?
I'm really bald. Cheers.
Cheers. What are you drinking today?
I am changed it up a little bit. I had this is still beer.
Okay.
Let me drink it first.
He's like, I don't know what I got.
No, I remember. It's hard. It's hard to remember stuff when they cut your brain open.
I mean,
It's hard.
I think for anyone it would be a little hard.
That's true, but I'm finally feeling better. So anyway, I'm having they're out of Boston. It's Sam Adams, and they make a hazy IPA, non-alcoholic. But I like the taste.
Nice.
Yes,
I'm
it is.
drinking on
I'm
a,
enjoying it.
what is it? Raspberry Rose Poppy.
Oh, yeah.
No caffeine. I was going to
Those
say
are-
non-alcoholic, but it's a soda.
Those are good.
Today we're both wearing black. We always have to match, except I'm wearing a camo hat that says Godspeed. Shout out Zach Bryan.
Look at this.
Don't love him as a person, but love his music so much.
You do. His music is good.
I love
No, I'm
his
laughing because I bought this because I lost an old one, and I thought it was going to be like this, see, like a black. That's cool, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's not. And it came with all these diamonds. So
It's kind of sick.
Everybody was saying, you should wear that. I'm like, okay, I'll wear it.
It's blinged
Yeah.
TF out.
It is funny, though, when you think about it.
You're
But
really
no,
serving.
Not the cross is funny, but all the diamonds, and it's fake
No,
diamonds.
it's funny because it's like bling and
Yeah, it didn't cost you.
it looks expensive.
Yeah, I think it was like $35. Anyway, that was funny. So we're going to talk about family today. I just thought it would be good. You know, that's really important. Family is everything. But before we do that, I want to thank everyone for the continued support and love. It's overwhelming. I don't want to get choked up right now because it's a ton of people. Text me, send me messages on Facebook, and I want to thank you. I appreciate
we
it.
appreciate our viewers and people who want to be on this journey
Yes,
with us.
I get choked up every time I read them. It's a bunch, and I love you guys. It's sweet. Okay.
Yeah, it is sweet.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
very sweet.
But continue to share your love and sweetness with somebody that may need it way more.
Yeah, give us a like, subscribe.
Yeah.
He's being all sweet, and I'm like, wait, but follow
Now
us.
follow us.
Keep the love coming.
Oh, stop.
I'm just kidding.
We're stopping.
It's a
So,
joke.
so anyway, I want to talk about family and my family. And there's a lot of interesting, fun stories about that. I mean, my grandparents on both sides were interesting. So my grandfather, Milburn, and my grandmother,
Milburn.
and Mary, my mom's parents, were just great grandparents. Just a whole bunch of things to talk about them. My other grandparents were Sarah, and she was married to Marvin. But Marvin died. I think Marvin, my grandfather, my blood grandfather, died when I think my dad was 8 years old, or he was really young. And my grandmother, she remarried years later, and I don't think that was a good family outing. I mean, and I don't know all for sure, so I'm not gonna throw a bunch of dirt on that. But anyway, it was different. So I never got to know my blood grandfather on that side. But Marvin, which is where my name came from.
Yeah.
So I was junior from dad, and his got his name from his father Marvin. So.
What's his middle name, Jackson, as well, or
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's how you got named,
Wait.
Jack.
No,
Wood.
I know. Wait, but so wouldn't that make you the third? I thought you were the
No,
second.
no. The grandfather was not Jackson.
Okay,
No,
so he was Marvin Mitchell, but not Marvin
Correct,
Jackson
correct.
Mitchell.
Yes.
Got it.
I'm junior from dad. So
How did he pass? Do you know?
I think he had a aneurysm in his brain. So
It's horrible.
yeah, not good.
Yeah.
But my grandmother on that side, Miss Sarah, my grandmother, she was a trip, man. She could play the piano. She every time we went to her house and she was cooking, she cooked like there was 30 people coming. I remember we came out of college, me and Patty, we were visiting her one afternoon. I said, hey, we're going to come over. It's like 3:00. And I said, we'll be over an hour. We got there. The whole table was full of like fried chicken, meatloaf. She cooked all this food like an hour. And there was so much food that Patty was like, what the? So we sat down and just ate we just stuffed ourselves. But she always loved to play the piano, and she was really good at doing gospel songs. It was really good, and getting us to sing with her. And anytime this was when after the step grandfather passed away, we would go and stay with her when we were younger. And she'd make us sleep in her room. We all slept on the floor.
Oh, I remember you telling me
And
this.
we'd all say a prayer if we went to bed, and it was, and she would lock her bedroom door. She was worried about people breaking in.
No
It was
way. And
funny.
you were all in her room.
All in her room, and then if we had to go to the bathroom, she'd open the door, let us run down the hall, and She was talking the whole time we were down the hall, just so we weren't, attacked.
Oh, so she had bad anxiety.
It was funny to us. We just went along with it. But
Yeah,
she would read a Bible story to us, and it was just cute. It was cute. I mean, it was meaningful. It stuck with me, but it was funny. But yeah, and my grandmother on my mom's side, she worked at the fabric store, and gosh, she was sweet. They always did a lot of things for us, and she cooked too as well. And one story about my grandmother, I'll never forget. Me and Patty went to visit her for the first time. Your mom went to visit her for the first time, and I stopped and picked up a 6-pack of beer. And we get to her house, and I put it in her fridge, and we sit around the table. We're talking, just cutting up. And my grandmother on that side, she goes, "Jackie, can I have a beer?" And I didn't even. This is after my grandfather passed away, and years later, and I said, "Yeah, Grandma." Patty thought it was funny.
Yeah, let loose, baby girl.
Patty thought it was so funny. She's having one of our beers. She's like, "I can't believe this," because her grandparents they didn't drink. They were straight as a wizard,
right?
Because her
as a wizard.
Yes, was that okay? But her mother grew up in West Virginia, and her father was Mexican. Her father was a Mexican, and of course moved here, went to school, became a surgeon. Doctor, and really treated people kind, and he was a good man too. But I just without switching gears, my grandfather Milburn on my mom's side, he loved drinking bourbon, but they'd go out and buy go up to the mountains and buy
moonshine.
Thank you, moonshine. And we rode with him one time. They put it in a big gallon jug, and we rode him out in the woods. He walked out in the woods and came back with that. And it's a trip.
Which grandfather is this?
Milburn, my mom's side, her dad.
Okay, and he was married to
Mary.
Yeah. Okay, yes.
And so
the one who wanted the beer out of the fridge.
Yes, and it was so funny because he would in his kitchen sit there and drink, and I mean, everybody came by, black people, friends of his, didn't matter. He had tons of different mixed racists, and they'd sit there in his kitchen and drink up bourbon. They'd chase it with Sprite.
For the time, I feel was different. Because I feel like segregation was very much
he was very
well
social.
and alive in the South. I mean, there's still
now,
residual stuff now.
He worked for the mill there in Tallahassee, and he had when he was a little kid, he was swinging on the vines, cutting up down there by the river, broke, and his hip broke. He was crippled. He had 1 foot, had to wear the high standard stack on the shoe.
Yeah.
But just was a mechanic. They worked on cars, and he just was a man's man, and he made things like, it was so funny. He would buy a car, and instead of fixing the roll-up windows, he put a strip of plastic, went down to the door, into the bottom of the window, and he had that. So when you roll the window up, you pulled that strip of plastic down. He had a nail to hook it to.
No way.
And he had a nail to hook it to. Yeah, and that's how he made it work. I mean,
wait, that's so smart.
No, he did all kinds of things like that. He was really good at those kind of. He could fix anything with anything, and he had an engine lifter on his patio, on his garage, where they worked on cars for neighbors and friends. Just
cool.
Loved it. They were good at it. And my Uncle Bubba, which was his son, my mom's brother,
the youngest,
learned how to cook, and was just really smart. They're really good at all that stuff. And of course, Bubba, Aunt Ann, Aunt Lenora on my mom's family side, kind and funny. My Aunt Lenora was a hair cutter, so she cut my hair up until I started shaving it. She cut my hair. She's very sweet. And of course, my Aunt Ann, another sweetheart, just really loved us, cooked for us, every time we got together, and just we have a good time. And we still get together.
And you say Ann looks exactly like your grandmother now. I remember y'all were FaceTiming her recently, and you were like, she looks exactly like...
Well, they were a few years apart.
Mary.
Not 4 years, 3 or 4 years apart, yeah. So, and then, and of course, Uncle Bubba, when we were in college, he's 75, so we're...
Currently?
Yes, so when we were 18, we were 15 years apart, so he was 30, and he would take us we'd go out in Montgomery and go to a bar. His wife, Aunt Barbara, the sweetheart too, we go hanging out with him in the bar.
When you were 18, hanging out with your uncle?
Yes, it was fun. It was a good time.
It's funny to think of him as your uncle, because he's like technically my great uncle, but I always know him as my grandma's brother, so I was like, uncle, he's your uncle.
Right.
But circling back, where did all these people live?
Pretty much everybody in Tallahassee, or Montgomery. Nora lived in Montgomery now. Aunt Ann was married to a veteran and of the Air Force. So they lived all over the world at times for a long time. They lived in Thailand, which you know very well.
I didn't know that.
Yep, they lived
That's
in Thailand for
cool.
many years and all over the world. It was crazy because my cousins on that side, we were buddies, first cousins, so we all hung out together. Marty, Chris, and Lisa. You know Lisa, and you met Chris. Last name Brighton Butcher. Right? And we were really close friends with him. And of course, going back to my dad's side, he has two sisters, Virginia and Sally, and a brother, Jim. They're still alive.
And Jim is his living twin,
Yep, they're close in age.
similar to you and
Yep.
my
Sweetheart,
Uncle
sweet
Brad.
people. So I got to tell you the story. So I was at Troy going to school, and it was a Sunday night. So my freshman year, your every meal is paid through, in the
Meal card?
Yep.
Meal plan?
Every meal, but they're closed on Sunday night. And I didn't have any money. Everybody knows that. I didn't have any money ever. And so I called Mom from the payphone in the dorm. I lived in an alumni dorm, and I said, Mom, I don't have anything to eat. What do I do? What do I do? And of course, she's like, well, we didn't know. You didn't wire money or Venmo money or anything like back then. And she's like, we didn't know that. We thought the cafeteria was open. I was like, no, it's not open. So she calls my Aunt Sally. They lived in Troy. And my Uncle Jimmy, another sweetheart, kind people. They took us on some fun vacations when we were little. But anyway, my Aunt Sally goes, come over here now. And of course, I go to their house. They're right on I think it was Park Avenue, right off campus. And of course, I get over there, and she has made another, like her mom would do, like food everywhere. I mean, and then I eat, and of course, she packs up a bunch of food for me to take back to the
that's so
dorm.
sweet.
Oh, just
I
sweet
love
people.
that.
Yeah, just very, very sweet. And of course, when we were little, Uncle Jim, we would stay with him. He would take us fishing and all kind of stuff. We stayed with him, and his wife was also Linda, like my dad's name, Linda. She was a sweetheart too.
Your mom's name.
Yeah, we got up to go fishing one morning, and they made us banana sandwiches or something for breakfast. And I was like, I am not eating that.
Why? Was it just banana or no peanut butter?
No, it's banana and mayonnaise. And I didn't.
What? Banana and
And I'm like,
mayonnaise is
no, I had to
crazy,
pretend like-
diabolical.
I'm not really hungry, thank you. Anyway, it was interesting. Very interesting, but just good people. It's funny. It's why when you feel love, you remember that it comes from the family like that, and just interesting stuff. And of course, my mother-in-law, Ellen, and what was Ellen's maiden name?
Why am I blinking?
I don't know. You're forgetting like me.
What's my grandmother's maiden
Maiden
name?
name.
Oh my God, why am I blanking on this? That's
Wilkinson.
Yes.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
So she's married to a Spanish man from Mexico.
A Mexican man.
Monterrey, Mexico, yes. And he was a sweet guy too, man, just smart. Took care of people as a doctor, just put a lot of that their what is it, their
Culture?
no, what's a doctor has to promise to do? Take care of people, make it more important than making money.
Values?
Yes, I forget what it's called. But anyway, I'm sure a lot of people out there remember that, know what that is. But anyway,
it's
he
like a
was so sweet.
mantra. I know what you're talking
So
about.
he retires, and you know what he does? He goes and becomes the head doctor working for hospice. And he goes around to all these people that are dying and takes care of these people. And he was just a good man, And she's a good woman. They're all passed away now. But
Did you ever meet Grandma Rodriguez's Ellen Wilkinson?
I met.
Did you ever meet her
I
father?
met Patty's grandfather.
Yes.
Yes.
I remember seeing pictures of him.
Superman.
You never met her
Super guy.
or mom's grandma?
100% though, religion. I mean.
Yeah.
He was
I knew that.
living in. They have a farm in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And
My grandma grew up in
super
West
nice
Virginia.
Guy, super nice guy, but I didn't drink around him or do that because I was worried he wouldn't like me.
He was straight
But he
edge.
was so sweet. Yeah,
I
he was a
remember
good guy.
Grandma used to say that he would sing them like church hymns all the time. He loved to sing them.
Oh yeah. He was good too. He was good at it. Just sweet man. I didn't meet his wife. She'd passed away years ago before me and Patty got married and got together. But it's all really crazy. And then of course, if you're going to go down, my mom and dad were just tripping people. I mean, they were very social growing up. They had all these Friday and Saturday night. They had a lot of people over and had a party, and we were just kids running around and watching them play music, and they danced. I mean, in the living room, our house, living room.
How are they
danced.
playing the music?
Stereo. They had the old stereo that you lift the top. The speakers is a built-in piece of equipment. Had the little stand that holds the records that drop down and it would rotate. They put a stack of records and they would dance and sing, and everybody was just really cool and friendly. And of course, we're just standing around watching them drink and act silly all the years. But But it's funny, one thing mom did that was she was the anchor of the family. And you could tell she worked at Auburn University until for 32, 33 years.
But she was a hardcore Alabama fan. Wasn't she an Alabama fan because of Grandpa?
She did.
Yeah,
she was
but
Auburn.
she wasn't at first.
She was Auburn with Brad, Cindy, and Amy. They were Auburn fans.
Yeah.
Me and Dad were the only Alabama fans. And then as the years went on, my dad started giving her grief, so she started wearing Alabama gear.
Dang.
And she started getting Alabama fans. So it was me, Mom, and Dad against Brad, Cindy, and Amy at any, especially the Auburn Alabama game. It was bad, and it was fun. But anyway, so long story short, Mom was the anchor, Mom was the cook. Mom took care of everything inside of a family. She was very good at that. She was a family person. She let everything else fall apart sometimes to take care of the family, make sure that they understood, and my dad understood, because Dad was the opposite of that. I mean, Dad worked all these different jobs. He was a DJ, worked at the radio station for years. Went on to, got a degree, not in college, but he got a what do you call it if you don't go to college?
Like a trade school.
Yeah, trade school. Got a degree in that.
Or associates, but that is college.
Yeah. Worked for WFTV. I think no.
Or is it a certification?
No, you got it right.
Trade school?
Yeah, trade school type. You got it right. But I forget. Somebody will know that the TV station in Montgomery. And anyway, worked for them. Was on the air. Did some anchoring and did that. I thought that was his career. But after a time, he lived in Orlando for a year and a half. He worked for Baird Ray selling cars.
I didn't know that.
He knew one of the salespeople, and they brought him out. So he would go there during the week, come home on the weekends, here in Orlando. And
was that before you? So you lived here too, or was that before he had children?
No. I was young. I was really young, and then he ended up coming back. And the Auburn people know about this. The All-American Inn, became a manager working there at the hotel, and that's when he started booking these bands to come in and getting the hotel built up, and worked there for a long time, and then went from there to the Best Western. Became a general manager there, and that place rocked. That's where we as a family lived there for 2 years, because we had that single wide trailer. I know y'all read my story about that junky place. I think about it now, I miss it. I miss that junky place, because it was just home. But anyway, long story short, so Dad starts working at the hotel, Best Western, and man, he made that place one of the most popular restaurants and bars in Lee County.
No way.
And because he hired all these big name bands to come in, and the Drifters, Billy Joe Royal, a lot of different good bands. And I remember sitting with him one time, and he was auditioning a band on a Sunday night, and because it wasn't open on Sunday back then. And I remember this band I thought was good. They were playing some great songs. They did a little tribute song at the end to say good night for the band. And I remember my dad telling me, y'all ain't gonna make it. And I went, what?
No way.
I thought it was crazy. And so anyway, he starts hiring all these big bands. And one story that sticks in my head that I'm telling you right now was crazy. So the hotel had a big Cadillac. It was a green Cadillac. And he drove it, or other managers drove it and used it.
Cool.
So the Drifters were doing a show one weekend, and Dad, they had to be picked up at the airport in Montgomery. So he asked me if I want to ride along with him. I was like, yeah, I'll go with you, hang out with the Drifters. So we picked them up at the airport, load all their luggage in the back, and there was 4 of them. I'm in the middle of the front seat, one of the Drifters beside me, and 3 in the back seat. And Dad's talking to them, because he knew them. I didn't really know them. They're chatting it up. Hey, guys, y'all ready to do it up and rock the show? And they were all excited. And over the radio comes a Temptations song. And all those guys lost it. I forget what the song was. Maybe it was, Can't Get No Rest. I don't know why I work all day. Anyway, something like that. I think that was the song. Came out, it was brand new. And they lost it. They were like, they'd heard the song before, and they loved it so much. They all start harmonizing and singing along with that song.
Cool.
So I'm in the front seat. The Drifters are sitting around me singing, and I'm like going, holy crap.
That's really cool.
This is amazing. And yeah, they sang, and of course they were cutting up with me, and just a fun time. It was really crazy. And of course my dad was really good friends with Billy Joe Royal, that sang Down in the Boondocks. He was a big popular singer, but he was on the backside of his career. But they put on a great show. I mean, his band did a Coca-Cola commercial where they were out on the this is the problem when you have brain cancer.
It's okay. You're doing great.
What was that? The the big.
Or playing charades.
Yeah, no, big out west. The big Duggan.
What?
It's the big mountains going into a big hole.
Oh, the Grand Canyon?
Thank you. Grand Canyon. They
should play a game of charades.
Coca-Cola. They did a Coca-Cola where they were singing on the edge of the Grand Canyon. Coca-Cola commercial.
Cool.
So they sang that song during the show, which is really cool. And Billy Joe Roy was awesome. He was a super nice guy. And he died like 2 days before my father passed away. They died close at the same time.
Oh, wow.
But really just really cool people, and got to meet them and talk a lot with them. And, it was just really cool. My dad was the manager of that. So it was, like I said, awesome. Best Western. And, his older years, he did the Coffee Break show, which they did on local cable, and it was played out for Tallahassee and some of that. And him and his partner, oh my gosh. Anyway, I hate that I remember his name.
Okay.
Anyway, he was a
also
barber
been a long
in town.
time.
He was a barber in
Brain
town. He played the
surgery or
funny
not.
guy, and it was just, it was crazy. But he went on too. He was president of the Tallahassee Booster Club for the athletics, and became a school commissioner because he was fighting the commissioner at school board.
They were beefing.
He was on the board, and it was crazy. But so when they never owned a house for a long period of time, so we moved back to Tallahassee. My grandmother died, and of course, Mom's brother and two sisters owned houses, and they said, "Look, the house is left. We're going to give it to you, Jack and Linda." And so my mom and dad got that house, that was my grandparents' house, which was your grandparents' house.
Yeah.
But
It's the only house that I
was
knew of
a
them.
special place growing up. I remember Christmas time. We stayed there a lot overnight at Christmas, and they had the gas heaters, and the smell of those bring back memories, and it was really special. My grandfather, I'll never forget one Christmas, he made a go-kart for us and my cousins. Didn't have an engine on it. You push it down the hill. I just thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And so we opened up all the gifts, and I remember standing in the hallway, and somebody asked us, "Well, what's your favorite? What's your favorite thing about Christmas?" And I looked at we called him Pawpaw. I said, "Pawpaw giving us that golf cart was the greatest thing." And my Pawpaw took me. He said, "Hey, you're blessed to get any gift." He was so cooling me out, telling me, don't be a show off. And I said, "Ooh, you're right, Pawpaw. You're right. All my gifts are great."
Yeah.
I was lying. Because the go-kart.
Well, you already told the truth. And then you
I
got...
know, but I did what my Pawpaw told me to do.
Yes.
So I was...
Oh, bear's growling.
Bears growling. That's our dog.
I think it's the sprinklers.
Yeah, so it was...
Don't start barking.
It was interesting. So they moved into that house, and... Sorry, the dogs... Sit down, Bear. Anyway, so my parents moved into that house, get a little money, and redo it, and of course became your grandparents' house. And another special place. We spent a lot of time there, Christmas time or Thanksgiving and summertime, and it was just so cool. So what ended up happening is this: when my mom died, right before she died, the school board bought it. So that was a good thing for her.
But they've been fighting them for years, even when my grandpa was alive, right?
Oh yeah, they wanted to buy.
They wanted to buy it to build a parking lot, which
Yep.
they ended up getting, which is really upsetting.
It was upsetting because it was a beautiful home, but it needed so much repairs. We decided not to keep it. It just needed major repairs, but it was a special time.
What was sweet was you and all your siblings went down there to separate all of their stuff after Grandma passed, and you made that sign that faces out on the street. And you were like, "Thank you."
Almost 80 years.
It was
we owned that house.
how many years? 77 years or something?
No, 78 years total.
It's crazy.
And
78 years in our family.
We sold this. I had the school board started calling me before my mom died, and my mom told me, "You handle it. See what you can do." And I said, "Mom," they basically said, "Name your price. Quit dancing with them," and we did, and they matched the price, and so we were lucky from that aspect. But it was still sad. We have no place like that to go back to, and it was special because, man, I don't want to get choked up, but man, we had some great times. That house was so special. It was in our family for 78 years, and just many gatherings. We used to go up every July, 4th of July, and hang out with Mom and Dad.
And their pool.
Yeah, they put a pool in, and we ended up hanging out there and just having our way, man, just chilling. And that's one thing that we are still close. That Brad and my two sisters, Brad, Amy, and Cindy, were very close to this day, and we get together once a year, and we do FaceTime FaceTime at least once a week and just talk and catch up. And it's special, man. That's where I'm so lucky. I've been so lucky in those kind of things. You talk about family. I mean, that's, generically, not generically, but blood. But I mean, everybody that's ever loved me, I call them family too. I got so many people I work with, and the fraternity, and friends, and
family, extended family. You got a huge family tree.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way I've treated it. If you were kind to me, and especially over a period of time, then you're my family. You are my family. You don't have to be blood. And so I've always tried to step up, help people when they need it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was thinking you were talking a lot about what Grandpa had done, but so Grandma just worked for Auburn?
Yep.
Or
she went to Auburn University. She was in the billing. She billed the students. Was in the billing department.
Yeah.
And she loved it. I mean, she was able to retire, and Dad was all over the place, but he worked a lot of things that were fun. I mean, he did a lot of fun stuff. I mean, like I said, meeting the Drifters was cool. That was cool. Those guys
I love that those are
cool.
the things that you remember. He's like, yeah, my mom worked in billing, but my dad, which it is cooler in the grand scheme.
So Mom worked in the billing, and across the way was the maintenance. So they'd go out and repair the dorms and all. I'll never forget this. So me and Brad were in 4-H, right? Everybody knows 4-H. 4-H was a farming and tool work and stuff.
Okay.
So they had a competition where you built a wooden tool holder made of wood. And so she goes to the maintenance, and two of those guys say, hey, my kids have to build two. Mom didn't even know it was 4-H. So they have to build a tool holder, right, kit? And they built this one. And I came in first place. We set it up there to win an award. I was a little bitty. I didn't know it was wrong. I didn't know it was cheating. Put it up there, and of course it was beautiful. It had been painted and just and I
no way.
Yeah, but obviously I didn't really win it. The maintenance guys won it because they built it so nice. But anyway, that was something that happened when I was whatever the age. It was elementary school.
Oh wow, you were young.
I went to Pepperell Elementary School. Went to Carver, Pepperell, OJHS, which we call it junior high school. Mm-hmm. And then of course Opelika High School. But anyway, I won an award from that. But it was funny. It was funny. So anyway.
Funny. And your parents got married right out of high school, right?
Oh boy.
Or even before they graduated.
My mom was pregnant with my older sister when she was a junior in high school.
Which is crazy.
They weren't married, and we didn't learn about that for years.
17. Oh, I'm sure she kept it a secret. It was taboo up in the South.
Well, I was born 2 years later, so Mom she was just graduated a year, and I was born at that time. But yeah, it was they kept it quiet, and of course she remembers telling her mom and dad, and of course she said they didn't get upset. They just said, "Here's what you have to do to be, to do this right." Mom and Dad got married. They stayed married 50 plus years.
They had 4 children.
Yeah, I mean that's if you think about it. So Patty's parents were married 50 plus years. I've been married 37 years.
87. Yeah. So 30. Almost
Cindy,
38.
Same thing.
Math?
Yeah. Like I said, most have been married forever. Like Patty's parents, my parents, my grandparents, on both sides for many, many years. So that kind of puts pressure on you.
I could see that happening. Oh, that was your speaker turning on.
Oh yeah, turn off and play music. But yeah, so that was a positive thing. So anyway, but it's just funny. It's funny. My dad was he was also the announcer on WTLS, did the football game. Mm-hmm. He owned WTLS for, I don't know, a few years. But he did the play-by-play for Tallahassee High School, where they went to the playoffs. Cool. We didn't make the playoffs at Opelika, but I still loved them.
Which we heard about last episode.
Yeah, right. I still love them. And now they're kicking butt.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They're in the playoffs every year, and they've been to the championship, I think, twice.
Cool.
Yeah, the state championship. Haven't won it yet, but I think they're going to win it. Bulldogs going to win it. I know they are.
Do you want to share quickly before we have to end the episode what you got from your friend this weekend?
Yeah, man, I cried like a baby. The head coach over there did a little thank you for me for just Opelika, supporting Opelika. And
it's high school.
And they gave me a jersey and a helmet. Mm-hmm. And thank you, Tammy Preston. I know that's not her married name, but I went to school. We graduated together. She really helped with that. Just they're sweet people. They're really kind to do that. Hey, go Bulldogs! Go Bulldogs!
It was a jersey with his number on it that he was when he played football in high school.
Yeah.
And then the coach made him a video thanking him for his support. And they gave him a real helmet that one of the players used during a season. Yeah. Which is crazy.
I love it, guys. Thank y'all, man. It's so
and he has
awesome.
all this Opelika Bulldogs merchandise.
I cried like a baby watching that video. I cried.
Oh,
like
I would cry too.
I cried like a baby.
Mom had told me about it, and I started tearing up. I was like, "That's so
lovely
sweet."
gifts. I'm gonna get a big case to put them in, display them.
Yeah,
it's really cool. But hey, we gotta wind down.
So we talked a lot about your family. We're gonna have a lot of family episodes. I mean, that's basically the whole purpose, majority of the purpose of this podcast. Yeah. We'll probably do an episode in the near future about my mom's family solely. We got a bunch of great topics coming up in the next coming weeks that we're gonna record.
Yeah, we're gonna do one about Sigma Chi. We're going to do one about all the girls I went out with and married.
And I'm sure you'll think of more stories about your parents.
I hope the girls don't get mad when I bring up their names. I'm not going to say anything bad.
Well, we'll ask for consent first to use their names, and then I might have to bleep again like I did last episode for the people who watched it. I had to look up how to bleep because I am the editor of the podcast.
That's true. You do it all. Isn't she good? She's pretty good.
I try, guys.
I got a degree in broadcast journalism, but yeah, she's good. And by the way, for those that are watching, we've got to wind up. But those that are watching, I'm still doing mortgages. So just because I got cancer and, who knows.
Oh, he's working.
I still use business. I need your business. so send me some loans. Anyway,
this is turning into an advertisement now.
It's 31 minutes. We got to close this.
We're overtime. Okay, ready? We'll see you guys.
Man, that's good. Okay.
We'll see y'all next week. Ready?
Ready?
Peace. Love
and funk and soul. Roll.
Funk and soul and roll and soul and roll and roll.
Peace be with you.
Bye. Thank you. Oh, that might have been kind of loud. Sorry. Love you guys.
That's all right. See ya.
See you next week. Friday. Every